for having us all here. I think we've had a very interesting afternoon so far, and it's about to get even more interesting. Okay, so my name is Lily, but my artist name is Olivecoat. The story for that is, it's also a long story, so I won't tell you. Okay, so let me just read this real quick. Olivecoat is the author and artist of the webtoon Hungarian, which has amassed over 3 million views. From a young age, Olivecoat would fashion her spare notebooks into amateur comics, drawing inspiration from the mangas that were circulated by her friends. Throughout her 4 years of high school, she and her elder sister managed to fill 10 notebooks with comics. Once she entered college, Olivecoat gave up drawing in order to pursue a career in interior design. So, like many other Filipinos, we were like, okay, childhood's over, time to adult, you know? So for 10 years, she worked as an independent interior designer, building her practice from the ground up. Her short stint in interior design produced more than 70 residential and commercial projects in various locations around the Philippines. And during the COVID-19 lockdowns in 2020, she suddenly found herself with too much time and decided to revisit her old comic in order to pass the time, because that's just who I am. I can't not sit and do nothing. Anyway, yeah, so just a quick timeline of Okay, so 2005. I think some of you were babies then, but I start my comics. And then I go to college after completing 10 notebooks of that amateur comic. And then I started my interior design profession. And then the COVID lockdowns happened. So I started publishing Hungarian on webtoons. So Hungarian is the comic that I was working on in 2005. So that's like, 16 years. Is that 16? God, I don't know, I can't math right now, my brain is short circuiting. But anyway, so for 2 years, I juggled work and comic, and then in 2023, that's this year, I decided to just like quit interior design and dive into the world of comics. So unlike these veterans here, I'm quite new to this career. I have no books yet. Yeah, so all I have is my webtoon really. So these are my titles. That's kind of an exaggeration because Gate of Dreams, for example, is only 1 episode. So that was a contest entry, but it's still a title. And Orchard House is a Patreon exclusive comic. So what Patreon is like you sign up to support the artist and then you unlock exclusive content. And then Hungarian is my main webtoon, which I publish for free on the Webtoon and Tapas apps. So they're free to read. Okay, so just a quick run through of the plot of Hungarian. A young girl, lost, hungry, and suffering from memory loss, is discovered in the woods surrounding a large estate. As she seeks answers to her mysterious past and charts a path toward an uncertain future, she'll find both comfort and confrontation among the members of the family that takes her in. Okay, so kind of vague, but the themes are coming of age, found family, enemies to friends. So just a little bit of background on the setting. It's like two kingdoms are basically on the verge of war, and our protagonist Andy, who is the redhead, happens to be from the enemy kingdom, and she finds her way in the not enemy kingdom. So yeah, she's in trouble. But the thing is, she doesn't remember anything. She's in amnesiac. So yeah, something happened to her, and now she doesn't remember. So the question of whether she's enemy or friendly is still up in the air. Influences. Okay, so these are some examples of the strong female characters who were popular during the early 2000s. So raise your hand if you know who all of these are. All of them. Oh wow, okay. Alright, so that's Ran from Supergal, Will from Witch, Ariel. Gosh, I forgot her name. Judy Abbott. Yeah, Judy Abbott, Sakura Kinomoto, and Anne of Green Gables. So what do they all have in common? They're all redheads. Okay, so the thing about redheads is they just look so nice on your cover. I know, they just look so nice on your screen, on your comic pages. They just add that bit of spiciness. I don't know, like little vibrance. You know, the color schemes just look great. Yeah, you put a blue sky in the back, suddenly you have contrast. So, yeah. And then we have more redheads. So this is like the other side, yeah? We have Sakuragi, we have Kenshin Shirama, and is it Ranma one half? I'm not sure, right? Yeah, okay, Ranma one half. Alright. And more redheads. So what is it with redheads, right? There's just redheads are so iconic, I would like to say. So I was, yes, that's Hanakimi. So in high school, I was studying mangas. So I don't know what it was like for all of y'all in the early internet days, but in the Philippines, we would just read whatever we could get our hands on. Which is, with very limited internet, we would just be passing around files. And the files that would be passed around were Hanakimi, Naruto, and a few others, but mostly just those two in my school. That's what we were passing around. So that's all I read. And those are the only mangas. You went to a bookstore, you couldn't find any mangas anywhere. So it's all comics and it's all Western stuff. So there's no Japanese anything. You'd have to go to Japan, and then when you go to Japan, you can't even read it unless you know how to read Japanese. So our only hope was scanlations. And that's Hanakimi, Naruto, and Kazehikaru. So again, Kazehikaru, I don't think it's a very popular manga, but my friend happened to bring it. Oh, yeah, okay, so it got published in Indonesia. So my friend just happened to bring it home from Japan. It was an English copy, so I read it. And that's the only reason I was able to read it, Just anything I could get my hands on my tiny island. Okay, so next. Yeah, humble beginnings. These are just a few of my very early works. Gosh, I don't even remember what year this is from. The first one is like mixed media watercolor, and then I added sparkles in Photoshop because I just didn't know how to do that with watercolor. And then I tried to do a manga thing, and that took me like a whole month for one page. So I just did not do page 2 after that. it knocked me out. It knocked me out. Like I was drawing that on, I was researching tips, right? And it said draw on a big page. So I drew on a big page. And by the time I finished that big page, I was knocked out. And then these are some of my earlier works, which I posted on the now kind of obsolete platform DeviantArt. Yeah. So that lower right is one of the very earliest versions of Andy, my main character. So her hair is like full red. It's not orange yet. It's not realistic yet. Okay. And then in 2021, I dove into webtoons. So for those who don't know, a webtoon is a type of digital comic that originated in South Korea and is read vertically by scrolling down on a computer or a smartphone. Webtoon panels are arranged vertically rather than in a paginated style, which makes them easier to read on a small device. The vertical scroll format offers a unique, immersive, and more cinematic experience as it allows the author more control over the story's pacing and surprise panel reveals. So you ever get that feeling sometimes when you're reading a comic and you're starting on the upper left, but your eyes just go straight down to the lower right. And you're like, no, I'm not reading that yet. No. But like the lower right is already screaming at you like spoilers. So that doesn't happen on Webtoon because as you scroll, you scroll panel by panel. So whatever is a surprise reveal stays a surprise. So that's the advantage of the Webtoon platform. So here's some examples of sequential art, sequences in storytelling, so conveying movement and animation. And emotion. So these are just like, actually this is part of a portfolio that I submitted somewhere, I forgot where. But yeah, it's just it's a collection of the different kinds of emotions that I've been able to convey in the webtoon by one character. Line work, so I start from a rough sketch and then I refine. I've been told that my line work is almost like the perfect mix between pencil and digital work. And funny enough, the only reason I picked this brush is because I cannot connect lines to save my life, And like a sketchy brush is just so much more forgiving. You can't even tell that I stopped here, connected here. Like if I did not like a smooth, streamlined brush, you would tell immediately, like, this is not one stroke. So, yeah. Landscapes and backgrounds. I actually used SketchUp for these backgrounds. I guess that's the side effect of my career as an interior designer is I learned the program, so I was able to like put things together, and now I make one background, I use it forever. Because you know, backgrounds are the bane of my existence. So establishing shots, I guess this is what happens at the start of each scene. It's like you establish the characters' positions within the room, you give context, so you give hierarchy. So normally what happens is like the characters higher up on the image are like higher in the hierarchy compared to those in the bottom of the image. And color grading. So yeah, we have like flats and colors, and then we overlay, and then we add some warm lights just to sort of set the mood. Like it's just to help tell the story basically and establish like the right emotion for the scene.